Welcome everyone to Noble's Life Kingdom Reborn. This is essentially a noble simulator where you command armies, you make choices, and you essentially run your own estate and maybe even kingdom, I'm guessing. That's about all I know. So with that said, we're going to hit new game here and jump into this demo to see what this game is going to be all about. Pick your origin: Overseer, Knight, Ecclesiastic, and Student. I'm gonna say that's like a, looks like it's some holy second son of the French Baron. Okay, Overseer is the first son of the French Baron. Recommended for new players. Are these like difficulties? 2. And Student recommended for experienced players. You know what? Let's go Overseer. Let's go for the recommended new players. I don't know what to expect here, so. Estate name. You know what? We're gonna go Casas. Guy. Actually, yeah, you know what? Guy. And then the city will be Casa. The capital. House capital. Okay. Oh, you even choose a coat of arms. What was that? Yeah, this one's kind of cool. Sure. We'll keep it like that. Let's go Saints Row style. Or, you know what? Like that. I kind of like that. I don't mind that. All right, let's do it. There's our coat of arms. Remember, you can't help everyone, so spend your resources wisely. Southern part of the Kingdom of France. March 1339 AD. The 100 Years' War rages. Look around. Oh, wait. Oh, what? Wait, am I actually... Are those billows of smoke above my city? Hell, are we too late?
My
oh
lord,
no.
Chevalier Charles has just arrived at the camp with the remainder of his forces.
Just in time. Look at that.
Several campfires in a backland like this. Yes, they have to be the marauders from the army of those English scum that dared to lay a hand on your estate.
But the peasants did not lie. They will be going this way.
Exactly. In order to continue their cowardly escape, they will have to cross this bridge. As your military advisor, I strongly advise against locking them there. Firstly, the raiders would have difficulties fighting the infantry in the forest, and secondly, we are surely fewer in number. And even if we succeeded, most of the remaining English would scatter in the forest. A much better option is to use this hill and attack as they pass by. The camp is hidden, and the momentum will allow our cavalry to crush them.
Okay, so we get to make a choice here. What about our infantry units?
They've stayed far behind, but it's thanks to this that we managed to arrive here so quickly. Maybe we are fewer in number, but in the right circumstances, trained riders dominate simple infantry. Especially since, as far as we know, the enemy is lightly armored, if at all. A much better option is to use this hill and attack as they pass by. The camp is hidden, and the momentum will allow our cavalry to crush them.
What are the forces at our disposal?
Our greatest advantage is the 6-man convoy, heavily armored knights led by Chevalier Charles. Apart from them, we formed 3 light cavalry units consisting of several dozen people. Although less armored, they are also more mobile, and their corps consists of experienced sergeants and squires.
I would talk to the Chevalier Charles. Ready your men for combat, Roland.
Yes, Lord.
Okay. We got some movement here. That's pretty cool. So first thing is you're commanding the army. You're not even just a noble just yet. Who is who?
We will win, for the glory of the county of Pettigore.
Henry Gold.
Check the horseshoes thoroughly.
There's Charles.
If any of the horses breaks a leg again, I will personally whip the rider 20 times.
Greetings, Charles.
Greetings, Lord Baron.
Of Godcast.
Excuse my straightforwardness.
No, you're fine. You're fine, Charles.
With all due respect, Lord, but fragmenting the formation, leaving the infantry behind, and leading us all the way here, based solely on information from the Lobums, it's a very creative interpretation of the orders from our Lord, Count of Perigord.
Your decisions have meaning and may impact future relationships with characters and their alliances in much later part of the game. Oh. Since when should a landless knight lecture a baron? Know your place? Oh, man. Do you think we should ignore the enemy who dared to lay a hand on the Count's vassal subject? I think, you know what? We're going to go with one. I think the Count's orders were clear. According to them, you are still under my command.
That is true, but our joint journey was supposed to serve only reciprocal safety. And you also know that the court ordered me to bring his troops back to the Count's estate as soon as possible.
So do you think that the Count will be satisfied with leaving enemy troops on his vassal's land?
I mean, no. I doubt he would be satisfied. However, if anything goes wrong in the Count's estate, I will be the one held accountable.
That is why we have to stop them here before they advance further.
They seem to be withdrawing. But, yes, you're right. We cannot eliminate the possibility that it is some bizarre form of regrouping. So, what are your orders, Lord?
Join Roland. We need to plan this skirmish.
Yes, Baron.
I think I managed to get through him. It's better not to cross the line. However, in fact, the Count may not be satisfied with my interpretation of his orders, but now is not the time to worry about it. After all, it will be months before we meet again. Oh boy. All I needed was a little bit of convincing. Alright, what's the plan?
There's no point in wondering here. We will crush them to dust in one great charge.
With all due respect, but...
So you have already started the planning.
Yes, you could say that, Lord.
Your advisor wants to play with wooden figurines like a kid. The situation is simple. We are on horseback, they are on foot. We have the high ground, and the element of surprise on our side.
The high ground?
My knights will lead everyone through the middle. The enemy will be passing by. This will let us have the highest momentum, and the farce will be over quickly.
Heavily armored Kanwa is slower than our improvised light cavalry. And we should be focused on causing the most losses. And it's not your men, Chevalier, that will have to deal with the enemy's remnants.
So what do you propose, Roland?
Divide our forces. We have 3 descents from this hill. Why not use all of them? This will increase the element of surprise and cause even greater chaos among the enemy ranks.
Doesn't that make sense to you, Charles?
Only under the perfect circumstances. The enemy outnumbers us anyway. When attacking from 3 sides, only a dozen or so riders will ride on both sides. If the attack does not go as planned, the losses may be significant. And I would like to remind you, Lord Baron, that you command mainly not your own soldiers.
I am not saying that the risk Chevalier Charles is talking about is not real, but he is suggesting a plan that is equally risky. And we can always leave one unit as a reserve.
I see.
We still have time. That's why I am asking you, Lord, to think every for and against through. The lives of your soldiers and the peace of your subjects depend on this.
Oh, hold on. I want to settle something else here first. Charles mentioned some figurines.
We are obviously talking about these tiny wooden figurines your late father gave me. That belonged to his previous military advisor.
Okay.
I think they are quite useful when it comes to presenting the battle plan once you get used to them. And it sometimes allows us to notice additional factors.
Huh. Such weird abstractions only mess with men's minds and make it harder to focus on what we have in front of our eyes.
Despite everything, I was going to use them anyway, if only for the sake of the family tradition.
Fair enough, Lord. But let us return to the topic of the battle.
Very well.
We still have time.
You know what?
That's why I am
Yeah.
asking you, Lord, to think every for and against through. The lives of your soldiers and the peace of your subjects depend on this.
I do want an additional opinion. You there, Sergeant, come.
Me, Lord?
Yes. You. Yes, it is hard not to notice that you were listening to our conversation.
No, I would never.
No,
Excuse
that's
my
fine.
sergeant, Lord.
You're fine.
He is overly curious, but I am sure that his intentions are pure. He is trying to learn as much as possible about the craft of war.
Chevalier Roland, I have the impression that you go too easy on your men.
Gentlemen, let's drop the subject for now, and you come here. Stay calm.
Yes, Lord.
Do you have any suggestions concerning what you've heard?
Well, I've been thinking about one thing.
Go ahead. I would consider reconnaissance.
Well, yes. Right.
Ease up on him, Charles. You probably didn't understand everything.
So why is he wasting our time?
You still have some to spare anyway.
Thank you, Lord. And I apologize.
Thank you for your wise words. Let us proceed with the planning. Draw me a rough plan of the battlefield as you usually do.
I serve, Lord.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that we're going into
Here's
something
the
like
enemy
this.
army. As far as I know, it's 3 infantry units. One of the Vincenaries is archers, surely in the middle of the formation.
Okay.
And our army is here. 3 figurines of light cavalry and 1 heavy. The box symbolizes our camp. Putting a figurine in it is an assumption that this unit will compose our reinforcements. Although leaving the convoy there is not possible.
My knights and I will fight with our soldiers. This, Lord, you cannot forbid me.
Finally, here we have 3 descents down the hill. In these circles above, I would place 1 figurine at most. These will be the units leading the attack. The spots below are simply units that will also attack from this side. Due to the width of the descent, I strongly advise against placing more than 3 figurines there. Although 3 is already a lot considering the size of our forces. Sending troops to the right will allow us to block their onrush. However, it may mean a tough fight. Sending troops to the left will let us cut off the enemy's escape route and attack their rear.
And how would you mark the variant in which the Baron would order the unit to attack the enemy only after it has engaged in combat with the rest of our forces? Your bizarre drawings don't take this into account.
Simply, Baron, leave the unit only in the circle below.
The middle one is the middle road? So simply put, my convoy in the upper circle, the other valuable riders in the lower one, and you will achieve what I suggested without waiting for Chevalier Roland to prepare it all.
Calm down. I need to think this through. Alright, leave the map view. If I wanted to put Charles down, the rest of the army probably wouldn't obey me if I didn't plan this participation in the battle. If I want to leave something in reserve, it would be another unit. Okay, so we pick one up. Oh. How do I put it down? Oh, I see. All right, I'm clicking to try to pick one up again. Place the remainder of the troops. All right, let's place one there. I don't know what I'm missing. Okay, that's 2 in the rear. And we'll put one more here. Yes. Oh, you have to double click it. I see. How's that? All right, gentlemen. I don't know how to exit this menu here. Yeah, you have to double click to the left. The main attack will come from the middle. Got it.
It is time, my lord. The enemy is finishing camping and is returning to the march.
Get ready. You have your orders. Oh, here they come. So we got half in the front and half in the rear. Hopefully this works.
Thank God they didn't notice us.
Whew, that's good. They're moving. All right. Is the battle going to play out? There they are. One, two, three units, more than 100 men. Uh-oh.
The enemies are where they were supposed to be. We are awaiting your order, Lord.
For the country of Perigord. Attack! Wait, am I attacking too, or am I just staying up here? I think I'd stay up here. Go, men, go! They're going through the front. Sadly, the charge of the cavalry was not enough to make them scatter, although they were so surprised they failed to form a proper formation. Okay. It looks like we're winning so far. Yeah, I can't do anything. In heaven's name, enemy reinforcements are coming. Oh no. Oh no. I see a few horses down already. This is a serious danger to our forces on the left wing. I can't do anything. I think we just have to let it play out. I think this is why we should have left one reinforcement army. Uh-oh. Here they come. Oh, they're already dropping. Fight, men. Don't give up. Keep on fighting. All right, I think they need like a little bit of something to speed this up a bit. We've been standing here for like a minute or two. Uh-oh. Another horse down. About to rain. They cannot withstand our attack. It's over. They cannot. All right, they're running. They're running. We did it, men. Oh boy. Somebody's gonna be angry.
Those cowardly creatures ran off.
And, unfortunately, our forces were not able to pursue them into such a thicket. Those who remained may cause us problems in the future, especially since more than half of them escaped, including, as I saw, at least 2 Vintenars, the unit commanders.
They won't be coming back quickly after such a defeat.
Agreed. But they may still pose a threat to your estate, Lord.
The most important thing is that our forces suffered few losses. Less than 10 soldiers died. Unfortunately, we also have some wounded.
These bandits clearly had loot from your estate with them, Lord, and they defended it more relentlessly than their own comrades.
Pathetic.
Summing up, we won and suffered small losses. But that was because the enemy quickly saved themselves by fleeing. And sadly, Chevalier Charles ordered us not to take any prisoners.
First, bandits should be treated like bandits. Second, we would learn nothing from them.
What about your third order, sir? You repeated this order to the English to break their spear, which I succeeded in doing.
I would have a few questions for them, but never mind. I have given orders to pack up the camp. As soon as we tend to the wounded and bury the dead, we must return to the remainder of our forces.
Your road takes you to your city, ours to the county capital of Perigord. The fork in the road the Count spoke of is less than 2 hours away. The rest of our journey will probably be calm. Of course, after we separate, if we spot the enemy, we will react and even pursue marauders. We won't, however, be riding through the woods every time we hear of an English army. We have important tasks in the county center.
Yes.
Very well.
We understand, and thank you for your help and that of your men, Chevalier Charles.
Unless the enemy has penetrated even deeper, my lord will surely be delighted to hear that the lousy English have been defeated in such a magnificent manner.
We should start preparing to leave as well. I want to go to Casa as soon as possible. I'm worried about my people. This is a pretty cool concept so far. I mean, with enough development, I think there's some potential here. It is definitely an indie feel to it so far. Almost like a small-scale Kingdom Come Deliverance, which I kind of want to do another playthrough of, and I might in January. Especially with the second one releasing in February. Does not look good.
Oh, it must have been rough. Look at the hole to the left of us. The old walls did not stand a chance.
At least after our victory, we need not fear the presence of the enemy. All signs suggest that they have escaped. They're missing an S and they escaped, but that's
the Count's
okay.
army caught up with them. Or that we can count on any more aid coming from them. We will yet repay these cads for daring to raise a hand against your lands, my lord.
My lord. Fantastic.
Soldiers, open the gate. The garrison commander, Chevalier Michiel, will surely be relieved to hear that you have returned to your city. Besides, the fact that you assigned him this task, my lord, instead of taking him to Gascony, turned out to be an excellent decision.
I'm more concerned about how badly my city has been affected.
The city walls have been breached, so we have to be prepared that the losses will be significant. Hurry up with this gate! Anyway, we're about to witness the extent of the devastation firsthand.
Oh boy. My city. What have they done? My people.
By the wounds of Christ, those sons of bitches have ravaged the city.
All these corpses. They didn't even spare the women. Monsters.
Much worse than I thought. People are probably devastated. And dead. It is necessary to show them that everything is under control. It is not under control right now.
I liked that in.
It is not under control, but we will gain control.
Even the church. Cursed scumbags. I mean,
no.
forgive my language, Lord.
Scumbag.
Easy men. They are survivors. They have come to greet their lord.
Lord, you have returned.
Those awful English have burned down my house! Baron has returned!
We've barely escaped with our lives, Lord Baron. What will become of us, Lord?
Help us, Lord!
Roland, your men are to help these people.
Aye, lord. Soldiers, you heard your lord. We will help with rebuilding. Some can go now. The rest will escort our lord to his quarters and join the efforts once they're done.
Thank you. Praise the Lord's army. Brave soldiers. We've got wounded men that need to be moved. I'll guide you.
We need
Ooh,
to recover
he's
things
cheering.
from the collapsing buildings as well.
Oh no.
With the soldiers' help, the city will surely be back on its feet faster, but... Well,
But
we'll be right there. Your banner flying on the gate is a sign that the castle has not succumbed to those damned
Oh, that
Englishmen
is the
yet.
banner. I forgot.
However, these people and the vastness of damage. Alas, a knight must not succumb to weakness. All is not lost.
Not yet.
Although you will require the wisdom of Solomon, Lord, for it may be impossible to save everyone. Sergeant, open the gate. Your lord has returned.
Remember, you can't help everyone, so spend your resources wisely. Every time. Yeah, that's a pretty cool concept. I like this. Oh, can I actually move? Ah, no. Still a cutscene. Who is this? Let me guess. He's going to be my advisor.
My lord, you have returned. What a relief. I mean,
Okay, he's behind it all.
I, Monsignor Giscard Ebrero, Chevalier, acting overseer, welcome you, Baron.
Ah, okay. Thank you, thank you.
My lord, please get off your horse and let us talk. I will give you a short summary of the situation.
Very well. Get
As
off
you
your
may have
horse.
seen, my lord, the situation is dire. The city has been ransacked, and the assailants even managed to push into the castle. Fortunately, only a small English force made it through and was quickly driven out. Still, they were like a plague. What they could not steal, they destroyed. No righteous Christian would do such a thing. Among the many dead is the commander of the defense, Chevalier Michel, who was killed last night. In fact, it was only this morning that the assailants left the walls of the city. And this all has become possible thanks to you, Your Grace.
To the point, Chevalier. What is there to do?
Of course, my lord. The most important thing for you is to show that you have the situation under control. This way, you will calm people are arriving at the castle to be heard. Therefore, the castle is safe, but I cannot vouch that there are no marauders outside. That is why we will keep the gate locked, and the soldiers will stand their posts guarding the gate from each and every incomer.
Very good.
I will await you, my lord, outside the throne room.
I have a few questions.
Yes, my lord?
What are the forces at our disposal? Oh?
Well, in fact, almost none. Presently, there are only a few able-bodied soldiers along with a dozen or so burghers who have been hastily called up to arms. That's all that's left in the city to defend the estate. However, with the help of the group of soldiers who have returned with you and Chevalier Roland, you should be able to form a guard to keep the domain in order. Knowing Monsignor Roland, I suspect that he is dealing with this matter as we speak. He will probably give you a report on it in the audience room. After all, he is of the Bedeau line. His family has long been helping in military matters at your family's behest. Is there anything else, my lord?
What'd you do in my absence?
As your chief overseer, I have looked after the welfare of your lands and assisted Chevalier Michel in arranging the defenses. However, my lord, as you know, we did not have ample opportunities. After all, with you and Chevalier Roland, most of the men prepared for battle set out. Besides, both the exceptionally favorable course of war for the French royal forces and the distance between your lands and Gascony may have caused complacency. Also, the first year was particularly quiet, and so nothing foretold such an invasion. Well, one could say it was sudden and unexpected.
Very well.
But that is not what you asked, my lord. After that, well, I mainly kept order in the castle, because contact with the world was cut off by the enemy army. Is there anything else, my lord?
That's all for now. See you there. Okay. Let's see if I can bump up the sensitivity just a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty low. Wait, disable hints. Oh, it is not recommended to disable hints. Unstable experimental option. It is not recommended to disable hints at the first time you play it. In addition, currently disabling the hints may cause the game to occasionally block, so it is not. Wait. Its use is not recommended. Dialogue speed. Okay. Yeah, the game's still in development, so it's definitely got some work. But I mean, so far as a intro to it, not too bad. This is good so far. Alright, I guess we go to the castle. Get inside. By the way, if you made it to the 36-minute mark and you haven't left a like already, it would help out a ton. If you are enjoying it, leaving any comments. Let me know if you got any questions. I don't know how far this demo actually ends up going, but I guess we'll see.
Unfortunately, my lord, as you can see, the fights have reached even here. It will take some time before the servants bring this old ancestral castle to its pre-war condition. I am also afraid that serious repairs are, for the time being, out of our reach. Let's get back to current affairs. Several representatives of your subjects are already waiting. They are primarily people from the city. You will have to wait a bit longer for information regarding the situation in the villages. It is not hard to guess that most will ask for your help. But remember, my lord, we may not have enough resources to help everyone.
Remind me how you organize my audiences.
In accordance with long-standing tradition, subjects come before you with their affairs. They will approach you on command, state the matter they have come with, and await your decision.
Okay.
I, on the other hand, as your advisor, will share my knowledge to give you a more complete view of the situation. If I need to say something confidential, I will approach your throne. Unfortunately, the goods at your disposal are limited, and replenishing them is difficult. You may be forced to make hard, unpopular decisions at times. On the other hand, helping your subjects get back on their feet may be a form of investment. However, I doubt we have enough resources to assist everyone, since the scale of destruction is significant. I believe in your reason, my lord, though you have many difficult choices ahead of you. Yes, my lord?
Okay. Let's see who came with that. With what?
As soon as you are ready, use this passage to the audience room to my right, my lord. I'll be waiting for you there.
Okay. Let's go in. So we answer to people's requests like that. Reminds me a little bit of and I've always wanted to play more games that kind of put you in this role.
Of the throne room, but our enemies have broken in here as well. Although the fighting in the castle was not as intense as in the city, the English did damage here as well.
So it reminds me a little bit of like Dragon Age Inquisition, where you sit on the throne and you can decide what happens to certain people. There's not really any other games I can think of that come to mind, but how did they even manage to get into the castle?
It seems that a small group of looters got here using ropes and ladders while the fighting was still going on. Apparently, they wanted to loot the castle before the others, but they overreached and were stopped by your soldiers.
It's terrible. Let the servants clean up here later, but in the meantime, let's get started. Alright, who is our first one? Hello, gentlemen.
Lord,
Hello, sir.
just as I thought,
Hey,
you
Roland.
also threw yourself into work as soon as we crossed the fortress gate. While you were gathering information about the situation, as your military advisor, I decided to deal with the defense matters. So far, I've only had time to talk to a few soldiers, and sent my sergeant to take a closer look at the walls. But I've already got some perspective on the situation.
Be honest, how bad is it?
We're knee-deep in shit. There's a hole in the city walls, we practically have no army, weapons are equally scarce, and, as we've seen, the city has suffered terribly. In short, we are almost defenseless. The best I can do at this point is to form the personal guard. With the soldiers who came back with us, the survivors of this invasion, as well as more promising townsfolk helping with the defense, I will be able to form one solid unit. This guard will keep you safe, Lord, and maintain your authority in these lands. But honestly, that's an overstatement. Let's just say they can somewhat keep an eye on the city and the castle. I know, however, that there is no time now to calmly transform this messy bunch into a real unit. Hence, I would like to immediately use the guard to restore order in the city. We need to make sure that there are no marauders or English spies in the area, and that there are no looters lured by the human tragedy. The burghers themselves can quickly forget about mutual solidarity in such a dramatic situation and start stealing from each other. After all, you are the surety of the law in these lands, and we should express this strongly.
My lord, that is not a bad idea. It may help avoid problems in the future and will actually satisfy the residents, especially the poorest and the weakest. I'd like to believe that such a tragedy will unite everyone. But people, especially those of lower status, are susceptible to temptation, and indeed, the situation Chevalier Roland spoke of. However, that's not the only use of the guard. We could send them to help rebuild the city.
Ooh, okay.
This would help the city get back on its feet faster, so we could count on additional funding from it sooner. It would probably satisfy the more affluent burghers as well.
Soldiers aren't carpenters. But in theory, they could actually help. I dare not deny it.
I understand, Roland.
However, in my opinion, it is better that they deal with the duty they will perform right away.
Hey, I understand how times like these we do need to keep order, but if we don't have a city, then what's the point? So, the guard is going to help rebuild the city. Wait, actually, hold on. Why will rebuilding the city benefit the rich more?
To put it simply, richer burghers, merchants, and more important craftsmen urgently need the city to get back on its feet, so they can run their businesses again. On their own, they are more capable of self-defense than the poor.
Okay.
In other words, our soldiers would play the part of unpaid mules and construction helpers.
You could also put it that way. Anyhow, the poor will also benefit from this. However, meeting their needs may not be a priority due to a variety of reasons. What is your decision, Lord?
Oh, okay. So, I mean, oh, that's a tough one. I mean, this is our first decision. It's already tough. My thought process was rebuild the city, help the people put it back together. But it also seems like if we just help build it up again and we don't actually protect our people, then they might start robbing each other. And I mean, the rich people can do that. Like, they can protect themselves, but the poor people won't be able to. I'll help them secure the city. We'll keep security. Let the guard take care of the security in the city.
Yes, Lord. I am confident that despite our meager strength, we will be able to maintain order. This task should also bond this bunch together. I will give the appropriate orders soon. Now, I must finish discussing the assessment of the fortification's condition with my sergeant. Oh, one more thing. I saw that Francois is among the people waiting to be heard. He's an experienced soldier, but I saw that he's been seriously wounded. He will probably ask for support for those who suffered wounds that prevent them from working.
Yeah.
This may be a troubling expense in such a tough situation, but mistreating veterans certainly won't help us rebuild our forces in the future. Nevertheless, I leave this to your judgment, Your Grace. Surely, everyone will be in need of help, and will have equally good reason to ask for it. There is no time to linger. We both have much work to do, so good luck to you, Lord.
Thank you, Roland. Very good. I think we can move on to the proper part of the audience, my lord. Point out that during the audiences, such as special meetings will take place. I will schedule them for the start of the day if possible. He lost his voice. 4 of your subjects have come to ask to be heard by you. Among them is Catherine, an innkeeper, Francois, the soldier mentioned by Roland, and Pierre, a peasant from one of your loyal villages. The one who has moved forward and is waiting for a sign of approachment is Jahan, the son of Consul Lawrence. Can you tell me about Jahan? He already passed 20 springs and was the son of a respectable city consul, Lawrence, who was engaged in grain trade. Lawrence and his elven members of the council ran the city under the leadership of the first consul. Indeed. As far as I know, however, there was a terrible tragedy during the attack to the city, and most, if not all, of the consuls were killed. And I think Jahan himself will know more because of the castle at the time. Let him approach. Does he have a voice? Ah, no. No, they all lost their voice now. My lord, noble Baron Casas, my God, protect you. I'm glad you made it back safely. Hello, Jahan. Fortunately, it is a terrible time. Not just for me, but for our once beautiful city of Casa. We have suffered enormous losses, and we urgently need help. I know you've just returned, Lord, but you've seen a lot of damage. However, let me outline our situation. Let me now briefly outline our situation so that you have a better view of the matter. I'll allow it. Thank you. The English damaged the walls, broke into the city, snatched a lot, and destroyed even more. A lot of good people died, city warehouses burned down, and not just them. Most residents have no roof over their head and may not be able to last until spring warming. We're put to misery, therefore I would like to ask on behalf of the surviving inhabitants to support us with food and materials that will help us rebuild at least some parts of what we used to call home. I just want to point out that our warehouses were well secured, God be blessed. We have food, mainly grain, and stored bales of wood, dedicated for the people in the event of a longer siege. Specifically, we have 450 quarters of grain and 250 bales of wood at our disposal. However, in order to meet the most urgent needs of the city, at least 300 quarts of grain and 120 barrels of wood will be required. Therefore, this represents a significant part of our resources of these goods, and as I said, I see it as a necessary minimum. In addition, I'm afraid that it will be difficult for us to replenish our supplies quickly at the moment, so I recommend that you exercise caution when managing them. Hence, one of the good options you could also consider this is ask Jahan to return later. That is, after you've heard of other people. Ultimately, that's not the end of the bad news, my lord. The entire Council of Consuls managing the city along with the first consul and the parson died in the tragic circumstances. As far as I know, there will never been a tragedy of this magnitude in the history of our city. Lord, I myself mourn the death of my dear father, who is one of the consuls. If the situation was not that serious, why would we never dare to ask? Nay, beg you for help. Before I make my decision, I'd like to know more about what happened. Describe the situation in the city in more detail. Caused a lot of damage. A lot of damage. Buildings are burned down or damaged. Many men died while they're helping the guards defending. There's not a single man in the city with no one to mourn. It seems that the crooks knew the city because they broke in. They forced primarily on the homes of the wealthier residents, craft workshops, warehouses. First Englishmen. It's very hard, and as you remember very well, previous years were not easy either. The war has been raging on for over a year, and the crops are far from what my grandfather remembered from their childhood. I know everything I need for now. Come back to me later today, and I will think of this case through. Subject Catherine, the innkeeper, has come to request a meeting with you. You must have noticed her inn when entering the city. As far as I know, it was heavily damaged. Before the inn caught fire, it served as a good source of provisions for the defenders. Ultimately, in the heat of battle, there was no time or place for pleasantries, but let me tell you that she has received no compensation for her lost goods. I assume that is why she requested this audience. She will request to be fully paid for her part in defending the city. Tell me about this inn. Who wants to get paid right now? Called Under the Truffle's Fault, and back in a time, it was the largest drunk house in town. As far as I know, armed men favored this place for off-duty drinking. I also remember that prior to the war, her business brought fairly solid and steady sum in taxes. Have you, by any chance, frequented this inn? My nightly days are now in the distant past, and my military contacts are severed. Besides, such an establishment are not really my style. That's fair. What I do know is that Roland and his underlings were quite frequent visitors to this place. Yeah, Roland would surely attempt to convince me to rebuild it. That's the kind of man he is. I mean, Roland is a person of firm opinions and strong decisions. Even if sometimes he is too earthbound, he fulfills his duties to the letter. He truly is a great soldier. That's all I wanted to know. May approve. Hello, ma'am. Thank you, your lord. My name is Catherine, and my daughter Agnes, and I run an inn in Under the Truffle's Fault. Hello, Catherine. What business do you have here? Ask for your help, my lord. Work in our dear inn suffered major damage during the attack. The roof caught fire and collapsed on the first floor. The whole building is now ruined. It would take a lot of time and resources to get back to welcoming visitors. And then there's those grabby soldiers they used the siege as an excuse to take from others. They ate what they could, and they took beer with them. My larder was getting empty, and when the neighborhoods asked for food, I didn't have anything to provide them with. Oh no. You two, Lord, need to watch out for them. Their greed has no end. Especially that they didn't manage to defend us, despite how much they took. But back to the request, they need the Lord to pay for the debts the warriors have incurred. The inn has been the heart of the town, and for as long as I can remember, it needs to be rebuilt, and it will also need to be restocked. I'll ask only for a payment of the goods. I estimate my losses for 60 coins, and that is how much I ask for. Before I decide, tell me of the siege from your perspective. Wouldn't wish the worst scum alive to have gone through what we have experienced. First, after a failed attack, the English surrounded the city and the guards didn't let anyone outside for many days. We heard them building something, constantly hitting stuff with hammers, rolling something, heavy things around, until one evening when they started firing. Went for hours and we were scared to cross our threshold. In some instances, we were warned by the soldiers on the wall, but they had their hands full with taking food from us anyhow. Back to the topic, I remember exactly that day before the attack was quiet all the way until the sunset. Even so, the armed men watching the streets were extremely tense, as if they sensed something. The fears came through at night when the stones began to fly from the sky as if hurled by the devil. People screamed and ran away. Roofs were falling down on the poor people's heads, and walls were toppling onto the streets as if they were made of straw. Yes, a monstrous event. What do you think of it? No insight on the exact behavior of the soldiers in the inns. Her version of events seems plausible. It'd be good to think this decision through, since 60 is a large expense for the current capabilities. You could also have her come later and hear what other two people are waiting to come with. There's no direct orders to gather drinks, but some defenders might have interpreted given commands to their advantage. Let me remind you that the majority of the defense has been made up of untrained burghers and conscript peasants. They probably wanted to give themselves a little boost with liquor, you understand, my lord? They had no prior combat experience. If the inn is rebuilt, it would give the townsfolk a feeling of normalcy. Later, it may also pay for itself in taxes. However, with the death of Michelle, there is no more evidence of her words. It would be good to think this decision through, since 60 is a large expense for your current capabilities. How long would it take? It may take 6 months for the inn to return to normal function. Given the circumstance, only after this period can we expect some additional tax earnings. I have an idea. Maybe reducing the monetary sum and offering some building materials as compensation would be a good solution. It will prevent the treasury from getting too empty, and the wood bales should somewhat reduce the cost of reconstruction. Okay. I see. So we have 220 and wood. Catherine asked for 60, but I suggest giving her 50 and 50. I think I should hear everyone first before making decision. Come back later. I need to think this through. It's best to plan for a significant move. We can't afford to make mistakes in the current situation. Casas, soldier from the garrison, Francois. What can you tell me about him? This is rough now. That's a lot. It was actually great when there was voice acting, but then when it just kind of stopped, I can definitely feel my voice would start going. He's one of the few professionals. Created when the danger was inevitable. Okay. So he can give a summary of the entire attack. I might start summarizing what they're saying. Hello, Francois. What is the purpose? Would you come here for today? Despite the overwhelming adventures of the enemy, we took them in with no fear and fought. We did everything we had to do and more. Many have died. Some who have escaped with their lives are seriously injured or crippled. Some will never walk again. The laws are lost. Okay. Aid the wounded and sick defenders, Lord. Some gave up their arms, legs, and other ears, and some are burned badly or their clothes can't be removed from them, while the others lie diseased. Okay. So essentially he wants help with those that were injured. What support to the injured do you propose? Good start is to offer them some decent food. There are 20 injured, 32. Oh boy. In their numbers and dogged conditions, 50 quarts of grain is reasonable minimum. This will help their meager supplies. Okay. The veterans are not the only ones who need help, and although Christian Mercy commands to help them, we unfortunately have limited resources. But it's not even 3 dozen crippled and wounded. We have the whole city on our shoulders, and the costs of maintaining the wounded are very high. Either way, if you want to aid. Okay. I will help you. We have to take care of the wounded at least. Because otherwise, it'll only get worse. You receive 40 and 50 quarts of grain. Extremely generous to the veterans, my lord. This gesture may lead us to rebuilding our army faster than we expected. As much as new and former soldiers will admire you for your help, it will still cost us dearly. Okay. Next case is Asush, which is one of your subordinate villages. This place has been destroyed by these filthy Englishmen. Then what is he doing here? Oh my god, it's been an hour already? It did not feel... This game, time flies with this game. I did not even realize. Been residing here since. However, it may be as though the citizens accepted it. Alright, let's see what it has to say.
My lord, as you can see, that was the last person for today. Good morning, my lord. I bring news. May I come in? Yesterday, we received information from Salatitome. Thus, we already have an insight into the condition of your entire land. I have collected information about villages under your authority on the estate map. You'll find it in your study. Of course. A key to the door that connects your bedroom to the study has also turned up, so we can use it.
Oh no, was I muted that whole time? I think I was muted the whole time there. Oh no. Well, we made our decisions. I didn't mean to be muted. Well, you saw me do the payouts. Either way, it was just a little quiet. But we are actually going to end this episode here. This went a little bit longer than I expected. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I mean, it definitely, they need some work with A Noble's Life Kingdom Reborn, but I think as a starting point, it's not too bad. So for now, that's going to be it. If you did enjoy it, leaving likes does help out a ton. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.